everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. I'm Kinda Caitlin, and today we'll be taking a look into your April blessings as well as the Aries season. Let's dive right in.
So welcome back, my beautiful Kindred Spirits. If you're new, feel free to subscribe. I do new readings every single Monday on love, career, spirituality, self-growth, and empowerment. Today, we're looking into the month of April in a very unique way.
Before we go ahead into the piles, I want to quickly mention how and where you can support me and yourself through my offerings. This month, I have snail mail readings. These readings are typed on a vintage typewriter and wax sealed for your eyes only. These are a great way to answer any questions that you might have. So if you're interested in any of my offerings, feel free to check out all the information down below in the description. With all that being said, let's get into today's piles.
So for today, we have 3 different piles. Pile 1 is the purple square or diamond. Pile 2 is a blue star. Or pile 3, the orange 4-pointed star.
So before you head off into your pile, I invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath to ground your energy here. Let's do that together now.
As always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your pile. Choose 1, 2, or all 3. Start with 1, change your mind midway. No right or wrong way. All of the timestamps will be below in the description, as well as chapter marks for each of the piles. You can find my snail mail readings in the description below, as well as my Instagram, where you can stay up to date with my offerings and stay connected. With all that said, let's go ahead with pile 1. Hello group 1, if you chose this little purple tile with the diamond on it, then this is the pile for you. And yes, it is our annual April Fool's video, so those of you who haven't been around on my channel within the last year or have just recently joined, then you probably don't know what we typically do here on April for your April video and reading. But what we're going to be doing is changing it up a little bit and using things outside of the box. So we're going to be using different decks and supplies that are typically not for divination, and alongside that, if you guys were confused about the intro, my sisters actually helped me out with that. We have a lot of fun bantering and playing around with those intros every year. So if you were like, is that Caitlin? Is that actually her? And being kind of confused, those are my sisters who are wonderful and supportive of this space. So do feel free to send a little shout out to them. I'm sure they'll be reading the comments. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be playing around with very different and interesting supplies. So we do use the very interesting supplies of the charms already, but we're going to be playing around with Harry Potter trading cards, Picturica cards, as well as hues and cues. So it's not going to be a typical reading. It's going to be more of an interesting, out of the box kind of reading, and one that we kind of have to together put our intuitive cap on for. But I know you guys are up for it, so let's play around here today. So we're going to be starting out first with what is actually one of my very first decks that I ever did use for divination, and it's just a typical playing card deck. And so this is just one of my favorite tips to just pop out there for you all if you want to get into tarot and start reading, but you don't have the money or the supplies or the or if you're trying to kind of keep it a secret thing. This is a great way to be able to do tarot without all of the rest of it. So let's just start getting into it. Are you guys ready to go? I am. I'm feeling hyped for this. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and let's see what's energetically coming in for your month of April. And later we're going to be doing Aries season messages as well, which are all about new, fresh, intuitive takes. So we're definitely doing that today. So let's see, what do you have coming in, group 1? Do send in your energy, and we're going to see what you have coming in for the month. Group 1. The main energies for April. Group 1. This one felt a little stubborn. So we have the Ace of Spades, also known as the Ace of Swords. Aces in general, in any deck, in any tarot or divination sense, always are about fresh new starts and new beginnings. And specifically in this sense, it's either a new conversation or a new idea popping out and becoming a new seed to grow. So I want to see where that comes in with some more context here. So I feel like you guys are going to get like a stubborn eureka moment, right? Like I felt this card had a stubborn energy to it, almost like you've had this idea pop in your mind for a while. You've had an idea that you've been wanting to actually push into the world and birth into the world in a way, but it's either circumstances haven't been working out, or other things have been kind of blockading that, and or your own mind has been kind of like pushing it back because of doubt or other reasons. But I do see it starting to come to light this month. So yeah, already getting quite a lot off of our first card here. Let's see what our second is. So we also have coming in here, one of the best ones to have on your side if you have that stubborn energy, which is the King of Pentacles, or the King of Diamonds here. And they showcase a lot of, they can be a slow mover and a slow getting things going, but they're also really good at getting, like really planting things and making them happen for more long-term growth. So like I said, if this has been feeling like you haven't had the right context or the right situation, maybe your family has been against this idea, or maybe you've had pushback from other reasons, scheduling, other things just getting in the way, this month is showcasing like really fresh, good soil to get this planted. So whatever the seed of a new idea is, it's in a really fresh, good spot. So let's see a little bit more here. Group 1. Ooh, okay, so we have the Five of Wands. Like I said, there is a bit of that pushback energy. Let's see what was on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so another king. Okay, so I'm really getting that there's a situation where you have been in recently throughout April, rather than April, throughout the last couple of months possibly, where you just feel like the setting around you, the people around you have been in conflict in trying to get this started, right? So you didn't have the right sun, you didn't have the right soil, you didn't have the right people, places, timing, scheduling, resources, or skills to make this idea happen and grow. This idea can be just about anything, and because this is a collective reading, those ideas are going to be different for everyone. Some of them are going to be really big ideas. Some of them are something much more small and simple, but really important to you. But if you feel like there's been something in your life that's just been getting pushback after pushback after pushback, this is the time to really make it grow. And because we have that King of Pentacles on your side, I do feel like there is this reminder as well. Like I'm kind of getting like scythe energy from this little, I don't know if it's an axe or a scythe or what's going on here, but this tool that they have here is reminding me of like harvesting, of like harvesting wheat. I'm getting like the energy or the visual of that. So I feel like there's something you need to purge from your life, whether that's criticism or doubt, something less tangible, or possibly something very tangible. Like maybe to make this happen, you need to like clean your space or get rid of that old couch or whatever it might be, but make room for this to have space to grow. Because I think part of it can also be, like I said, there just isn't space. It's feeling very kind of closed off and like crowded in, and that there isn't room in your schedule or other things. So it's kind of like I'm getting this feeling that a lot of you have been waiting for this to be able to have the space to grow, rather than making and actually carving out time in your schedule to have this new idea come in. Could be like a new idea in your career, in love, in maybe a new dance class that you take up. It could be any idea that's been on your mind, but it feels like a really healthy, good step forward. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and see a little bit further. So I want to look with these Picturica cards, which have these really fun, very silly doodles on them that I think can be really interesting to pop off with our intuition here. So let's see what comes in here for your blessing for the month. And you can see this as a blessing from Spirit, or you can also see this as like the best tool in your toolbox this month, right? This is the thing that's going to be like the best thing for you to be able to make it through the month or to use. So let's see what blessing or tool in your toolbox is coming through for you this month. Group 1. Ooh, okay, interesting. So you got 2 of them, both in the red color. We have reds and all different colors of reds and grays and things, but this is really making me think of this really bold energy that we're getting off of this King of Pentacles, that red energy, red being very much part of the Aries season of fire and that cardinal energy of fresh new starts. So let's look at these here. So the first one that came out, we have this, I believe, some sort of sports person, possibly a football player, rugby player, or something like that, blowing out a candle on a cake. It's really making me think of like accomplishments or feeling like celebratory for an accomplishment that you're going to be really taking on. Some of you might also be Aries little babies out there, so happy birthday to any of you. Or maybe you know someone who is an Aries in their sun sign that might be having their birthday this month. So it could be just that might be something that is a blessing in your month, someone you get to celebrate, or you being celebrated, a birthday around you, to really celebrate and take in. Also, just in general, if it's not a birthday thing, it does feel like, again, something to celebrate, like a team winning situation, team building situation, or feeling like you've accomplished something. It's also only got 1 candle here, which is making me think of like a first birthday, which is more to do with that celebratory of a new idea or a new thing being planted. Really good things to see. So on the other side here, we have something very different, kind of much more wild here. We have these X's and O's, a little scuba diver in this is making me think of like the Magic School Bus. I don't know if you guys ever watched Magic School Bus as a kid or have ever heard of it, with Miss Frizzle and her interesting dresses, but it makes me feel like you're going on an adventure of some sort, maybe a bus ride somewhere, taking a train somewhere to see someone, maybe just in general, travel and getting out of the house and going places can be really beneficial for your mental health this month. I could see that as well. It doesn't have to mean that you're traveling far, but like I said, if this is a tool in your tool belt, your tool is your vehicle, your commute, it's people, it's some sort of like adventure or walking or biking or something more mobile and movement to your ability and what you're able to accomplish with the things that you have. Obviously, not everyone has a vehicle, or not everyone has the same mobility, but I do feel like there's something happening there where you are kind of going outside of your comfort zone, or just going out to be able to maybe see new ideas and find some more adventure. I really like that. Like I said, some of you, that new idea is to go to a dance class, or it doesn't have to be specifically dance, but like a class or a community event, or to go to like the theater or a museum or something like in your community or in an event sort of space. And I see that being part of that reason of like adventure and getting out of the house being really important for you and impactful for your month. So let's see a little bit further. Typically, I like to change things up here and do a card on your relationships, right? So I like to just do a quick little energetic check-in for you all for your month, just to see what's coming in collectively within that realm of relationships. That could be platonic, familial, friendships, or relationships with spirit, yourself, future self. You can even see it as romantic, however you wish. But we're going to be using these hues and cues cards because they have these really interesting energetic landscapes by color. So we're going to be playing around with that. So do feel free to send your energy in, or if you have a specific person or relationship in mind. This is a collective reading, so we'll see together collectively, but do feel free to send that in and see how it resonates. So I think it's honestly this one. That was really fast. So this is our card here. And it definitely makes sense. Like I said, with that 5 of Wands energy, it usually showcases a bit of a pushback or someone bringing seeds of doubt into your life. It can also be showcasing like a little bit of turbulence in relationships or a bit of like competitive nature that's happening there. And what I find really interesting is you have that competition, you have a bit of competition with that sportsmanship. And then the relationship card that we got here showcases a lot of energy, showcasing more of that wands and then like boredom sort of energy. This feels like pastels. It can be peace. So I don't know. I'm getting this like X of energy that feels very like a juxtaposition, a butting heads kind of energy. And so I feel like one person wants one thing, another person wants something else, and there needs to be a compromise. I see compromise in this card, and I see a need for better communication for needs. The needs that you have for each other, right? So like what one person wants and the other person wants, and how to find that compromise in the middle, because I do see a lot of that. You also have the letters here in case these resonate with any names or other energies or even days of the month. We have E2, L19, H7, and L20. So that's what I'm getting here. Just a lot to do with compromise and these extremities of energy, kind of butting heads, or like a lack of sportsmanship there, right? Of competition versus like community. So that's what I'm really getting here is that energy. And it's not that it can't be resolved over the month, but I just think that there could be a little bit of that turbulence. So just riding it out and finding a middle ground. So from here, I now like to switch things over to the energy of the season, right? So we're in Aries season, which is a very bold energy. Aries is the first sign in the new astrological season, and so it's all about that fresh baby, just trailblazing a new start kind of energy. They're very young and carefree and bold, and like I said, just they really create new trails and new spaces and are very innovative in a very bold way, as well as very creative too. And they're really good leaders. So I want to see what's coming in on that sort of, and how that relates to you, right? How Aries season relates to you this month, and see some cards there. We're going to be using these Harry Potter trading cards. I just want to preface that I've had these since I was very, very young. I do love Harry Potter in a nostalgic way, but I do want to also preface that I don't condone all of the different views of the author. So just keeping that in mind. But let's go ahead and pull those cards. And if you are enjoying this reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the reading and the channel continue to grow. So thank you so much. But let's see. Group 1. What do you have coming in for bold Aries season? How could you maybe be more bold in your life? What's coming in around Aries season and that bold energy? Ooh, fun. So you got Halloween Feast, the number 4. It says 1,000 live bats flutter from the walls and ceiling, while 1,000 more swooped over tables in a low black cloud, making the candles in the pumpkins stutter. Ooh, that's a really spooky, fun, interesting card. It definitely has that Samhain, Halloween energy to it, obviously, but also the idea of a feast, which the King of Pentacles has a lot to do with that. But let's see our other card to give a little bit more context here. The Halloween Feast is also making me think of like the Hogwarts houses. If you guys aren't Harry Potter fans, I don't know if this will always make sense, but the different houses or the different categories of people that are placed together, and the idea of that like competitiveness again. And so the Halloween Feast being like a place of coming together and putting aside differences. I can see a little bit of that energy coming in. Let's see. Anything else? Okay, and then we have the river troll. Okay, so then again, like a common enemy showing up here. It says they're supposed to be really stupid, said Ron. So I feel like the river troll is giving me kind of an energy, one of wanting to kind of be in like your own space. It's kind of making me think, I'm getting a lot of analogies here, but it's making me think of like the swamp that Shrek has, and like it's his own place where he can just, you know, be his own person, be dirty, be grimy, be gross, or just be themselves and be you know, at peace in that space. So I do feel like, again, someone might be encroaching on your space and kind of trying to get in your face a little bit. And so I do feel like there can be a little bit of confrontation that's happening this month, that turbulence, and having to kind of stand up and rise to the occasion, because you might have someone kind of doing that for you. But I also do see with that Halloween feast that there can be that putting aside differences. There's a lot to do with forgiveness, compromise, and putting aside those differences energy. Halloween feast is also giving me this feeling of like maybe tapping into your intuition a little bit this month as well, on a very like unrelated note to everything else. It does feel like you might be tapping into that intuition. Bats also remind me too of like traveling a little bit farther, so more of that travel energy. Overall, though, I want to go ahead and move on and look at your charms to finish off your reading. These are going to be cast directly onto the cards, and we're going to see what comes up from those little details that we get to finish off the reading. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and let's see what's coming in for you, Group 1. Okay, so honestly, not too many, but the ones that you did get made sense. Okay, so we had two little clusters happening here. We have the letter O showing up here next to the scuba diver and the adventure, near like the window and the door. So I really do see that you might be seeing some new sights that make you like, you know, kind of like, wow, oh my gosh, kind of feeling. And then over here on the birthday card, or the card about sportsmanship and kind of that energy, we have the jealous heart, the envious heart. So I do feel like you're maybe, like I said, some of you are moving into a new life stage or moving up, celebrating something, and it's either that you are envious of that person, or there's some sort of jealousy around there, or the other way around. And I think any feeling is important to look at, right? And not just push away. Anger, jealousy, all of those sorts of things we tend to just push away and say, no, I'm not meant to be jealous. I'm not meant to feel those things. But there's always a reason behind it. So maybe taking a little bit of time to see where maybe you're feeling a little bit jealous or envious, and seeing how that relates to you. And maybe it's just a projection of insecurity, or a projection of how you might be feeling underneath. Just kind of rooting down and seeing where that's coming from like this celebratory, possibly even a birthday feeling that's happening here. So might be something that you have to kind of dig around there for. As for over here on your 5, sort of again that confrontational energy, we have the hacksaw, and then connected to it, they just sort of fell this way, we have the paperclip. And the paperclip usually represents something that is temporary, a temporary energy. It's not going to last, but it is there. And so the temporary energy that you're getting here with that confrontation is like the hacksaw. So this tells me that someone's trying to hack away at something, hack away at your excitement, or hack away at like the good feelings in your life. I can just feel like someone's trying to kind of hack away at those. And the hacksaw isn't a nice saw, right? Out of all the saws that you could have, it's not always the most precise. It's very jittery and all over the place, and it kind of just hacks it off and does the job, but it doesn't do it well. So I really do feel like there is that need to like maybe talk to someone, talk something out, or find a compromise there, because there is a conflict happening here. And so that energy might need to be sorted out this month, and it definitely is temporary, so it's not going to last forever. So overall, those are all of your cards and charms this month. I know it was a very unique and different one, so do let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Feel free to let me know what you were thinking, because or if you have even game suggestions for maybe another year, if we do this again, because that'd be a lot of fun. If you would also like to, do feel free to give this video a like, leave that comment, and you could also subscribe to the channel. I promise I don't always use playing cards and things like this, so you're welcome to see the other readings that I have already on the channel. I like to play around and have fun here, So do feel free to subscribe to see the readings that I put out every single Monday, and join our little community here. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be really fun to have you join in here. Also, you're welcome to see the different ways you can support this space and keep this space running to get new decks, unlike these ones, to uplift the space and uplift the channel with the Kindred tip jar down below, as well as the private readings that I have down below for snail mail readings and digital readings. Those are great if you want to look further into whatever might be coming up in this reading or another query that you might have. So do feel free to check all of that out down below. And I'm wishing you a wonderful Aries season. Happy birthday to any Aries out there, and also a beautiful, blessed April. Bye. Hello group 2, if you've decided to choose this blue star, then this is the pile for you. And yes, it is our annual April's video and reading, but it is also an April Fool's video, which I've been doing for the last couple of years with my sisters who love to pop in, and we have a lot of fun filming that intro to figure out a fun way to just sort of spook out those of you who are new to the channel. Some of you have maybe already seen and been in on the fun, but alongside doing that with my sisters, who did an amazing job, by the way, do feel free to leave a comment on how they did. But we're also going to be playing around with various supplies that are not typical of tarot, right, or divination tools. So we are going to be using a typical playing card deck, Hues and Cues playing cards, as well as trading game cards from Harry Potter and Picturica cards, right? So very different. We're also using Quirkle tiles and the charms, which I use all the time, but they do have that sort of pick and find sort of energy to them. So it's going to be a very different kind of reading, a very fun and intuitive reading. So do feel free to put your intuitive hat on, and we're going to play around together here. We are going to be starting out first with the 3 cards for your energy, but we're also going to be looking into Aries season. So if you are an Aries baby, then happy birthday to you. We are going to be looking into that as well. But I just want to preface again that this is going to be a very playful reading. If you want to look even deeper into these subjects, or you want to look a little bit more specifically with actual tarot cards and oracle cards, then do feel free to book a private reading down below. But this one's definitely going to be more fun, and we're going to see what comes in for you. So let's start first with these playing cards. And just as a small little hint here and pro tip, if you are looking to get into tarot, but you are kind of still in the closet, you don't really want everybody knowing that you're working with tarot cards and things like that, or if you are in a place where tarot cards and divination tools aren't accessible to you, then definitely get out just a typical playing card deck, because it has all of the ingredients you need to get started. So let's go ahead and do that now. Do feel free to send your energy in here, group 2, and let's start out with your energy for April. Ooh, oh my goodness, did we get all 3 cards right off the bat? We have the 5 of Pentacles, or the 5 of Diamonds, the 9 of Wands, as well as the 8 of Wands. Wow. You also have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom, so a lot of that new beginning energy also came in with group 1. So if you're not sure if this is your group or group 1, then do feel free to check out both of them, because they do have that energy to them. But what I want to talk about is the fact that you have both the 8 and the 9 of Wands showing up here in your energy. The 8 of Wands is all about very swift, fast, quick-paced energy. It is the type of energy where someone, like, you know, in a movie when a teenager like runs down and their parents had like woken up early to make this beautiful breakfast for them, and they like eat like a bite and then rush out the door. That's like this 8 of Wands energy. They're just like a whirlwind, throwing themselves into life, but sometimes getting that burnout energy because they're throwing themselves in so hard and so quickly. And then the 9 of Wands showcases boundaries and protection, and also a bit of this boldness too, to just sort of like stake your claim on what is yours, which I think is really interesting to have this 5 of Pentacles in the center of all of this really quick whirlwind energy, which is kind of more of a slow down, stagnant, stuck energy, because the 5 of Pentacles usually showcases, as Pentacles do, something about your financial or your body, physical, tangible things in your life, your home, your body, your your things, your personal things that you own, right? And then it can also talk about career and finances. So what I'm really getting here is this usually represents something kind of slowing down in your career, or slowing down the pace in which you're maybe getting your finances this month, or maybe it's just not as important to you as something else that's really riling you up and getting you feeling passionate and like I said, that whirlwind, oh my gosh, passion project, hyper-focused energy. So we're definitely getting sort of a juxtaposition of energies, some that are very bold and fast-paced and moving, and then other times where it's just very slow. So I do see this extremity of energies, and because of that, I do think that you're gonna possibly wake up one day with all of this energy, all of the spoons in the world, just ready to take on the world, and then the next falling into sort of a pit of doubt or into a sort of a rut or a creative block. And I can see that coming in because of that extremity, right? Because there isn't balance there, you like kind of take out all of your reserves because you kind of go pedal to the metal, and then you're kind of out of gas by the next day, right? So I can see that you're going to have maybe a busier month, a month that is just going to take a lot of your energy, and then you have to kind of bring yourself back up, and then take a lot of your energy and then bring yourself back up. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but going into the month knowing that you might have this burnout or kind of block energy every once in a while is important to go into. And if it's something that you want to change before the month really gets going, this is the perfect time to really put down boundaries, maybe say, hey, I don't have time this month for that to happen. I already have so much else going on. Reschedule, rethink it, reframe things, because I do see that that could be really helpful and maybe a little bit more healthy for you this month. But if you want to be bold and go for it, then just know that there might be those repercussions in the long run, that you might feel like more tired and more run down. Outside of that, though, I want to look a little bit further, so we're going to look with these Picturica cards. It's so funny to do this reading every year because you never know what you're going to get with these kinds of things. So we're going to be playing around with our intuition here with these Picturica cards. They don't have any oracle messages specifically on them or keywords, so it's really going to be just like big brain energy here. And we're going to see what's coming in for your April blessings. So these are going to be the blessings that you have coming in for the month. You can see them from Spirit or from guides of yours, but you can also see this as just energy that's really in your favor this month, or like the best tool in your tool belt this month, the thing to really bring out. So let's see what's coming in for you for that, for your blessing, the best tool, or the energy really on your side this month. Group 2. Okay, so we have the Knight, as well as this interesting little person as well, just sort of doing their thing too. They look like they're kind of having that burnout energy that I was talking about, where things are just feeling very chaotic. You know, they've got their phone in their hand, and they've got the papers, and even little people peeking in through the window being like, are you okay? So I do think that maybe isn't necessarily the energy that's on your side, although even though this depicts sort of a oh my gosh, everything's happening and kind of overwhelmed energy, I do think that, again, you do have that Knight, and the Knight is making me think of the Knight of Wands, which is very go-getter, let's do this kind of energy. So again, more of that extremity, those back and forth energies, that whirlwind of energy that might be coming in. I do think that even though it might kind of whip things up and be a little bit uncomfortable at times because of how much energy you're using and that push and pull back and forth kind of energy, I do think that it's going to benefit you this month. And even if it seems like an odd tool to have in your tool belt, I do think it's one that you should maybe take advantage of. So if you're looking for that balance in your life, do feel free to just ignore it. But for some of you, I really think that it could benefit you. I also think that like maybe taking some of that time off as well, like maybe not throwing your phone, but you know, like putting your phone down every once in a while and you know, getting off social media or getting off, you know, from emails and things like that. And when you are in those burnout times, to really give yourself the time off that you need is important though. So I would say both of those things. Balance is still important, but it doesn't mean that it's the end all be all of your month. I'm also getting this little feather in there, this little plume. It's making me think of like a feather in your cap. So there's this like lucky energy too, like this go lucky, like fun movement energy that's coming in here too from this. And the fact that they're riding on like a pretend horse is making me think of creativity. So I feel like some of you might be like in the idea of this being like a quill. Some of you might be writing and really getting into your creative element this month, being very playful and silly. That could also be a tool in your tool belt. So let's continue moving forward. We're going to be moving to the hues and cues cards now, as I tend to switch things up around this time of the reading for these monthly readings to look into a card on your relationships. So this is going to be a collective reading, as always, with everything that we have coming in here, but specifically on your relationships. You're welcome to send in the energy of a specific relationship you want to look into, or just in general. So this can be your relationship with a family member, a friend. It can be a platonic relationship with a coworker, or it can be a romantic one, a spiritual one, or one with yourself, however you wish. But we're going to see what's coming in there by looking at these color profiles and seeing what comes in from those. So let's see, group 2. What do you have coming in within your relationships and the energetic profile of those this month? Where is it headed? What energy is coming in and being communicated through your relationships this month? Group 2. Ooh, okay. So you have some bold colors. Even the one below it was very bold. So you can look at the different letters and things that we have showing up here, as well as the colors, and see what is sparking for you. But I see this really bold energy. Like, I feel like really bold botanicals, like gardens and things like that. So it feels like something is flourishing within your relationships this month. I really see that maybe you're quite social with them, and there's that creative element coming in again with all of these really bold, intense colors. There's an intensity there. So again, making sure you don't go a little too hard with your socialite if you're like you're going out every night or seeing someone all the time. Maybe finding a little bit of balance there could be useful for you both to kind of come back to yourself and have a little time for yourself to kind of move away from overwhelm. But I do see that coming in again. We also have J27, O19, H4, and B19, in case you were looking for any indications of specific letters relating to people's names or initials, or any dates or other things that might be coming up here as well with the different numbers here. But overall, I'm getting like this really flourishing, very quick move. Like, it's like if you plant something, like immediately it grows. Like, it feels like it's just like this magical plant that's growing, and it's growing very rapidly and very quickly. It feels like a honeymoon phase, or like a like you've got the rose-colored glasses on. So I really do think that, enjoy this energy while it lasts, but do be sure that there can be that consequence of a bit of burnout or needing a little space. So that's coming in here, quite a whirlwind in all fronts, which isn't surprising seeing as we are in Aries season. And because of that, we're now going to move on to your Aries season messages with these Harry Potter cards. But if you have been enjoying the reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much. I also want to preface that I've had these cards since I was very, very young, and I am still quite a fan of Harry Potter in terms of like the nostalgia that I get from that. I feel like I can never really take that away, but I do want to preface also though that I don't condone any of the things that are coming in with JK right now. So with that in mind, let's see what is coming in with your Harry Potter cards here for Aries season, just all about trailblazing a new season coming in general, right? Aries season is all about starting that new astrological year. It's the very beginning. It's the seed. It's that fiery, go-getter, young, youthful energy. So let's see what's coming in with that for you. What bold new steps and new starts might you be taking up this month, seeing as you already have such bold ones coming in already. Group 2, do be sure to send your energy in. That always does help. So, okay, so we have Lee Jordan first off. I don't know a lot about Lee Jordan, but we'll read on them here in a moment. And you also have biased commentary. Interesting. Okay, so these are very different things that I was expecting you to get. Let's look at them. So first off, Lee Jordan is a character card. It is a wizard, a Gryffindor, and unique. They are a wizard, a Gryffindor, and unique. It says the Weasley twins' friend, Lee Jordan, was doing the commentary for the match, which I was gonna mention, right? Like, Lee Jordan is also in the commentary, biased commentary. So the fact that you got these two together was already pretty wild. So I feel like there might be a friend in your life that's maybe either cheering you on with like a lot of bias and again that whirlwind of honeymoon feels and really kind of pepping you up in that way, even if it's not always perfectly honest or they see you in a very rose-colored glass kind of way. I could see it that way, or going the complete opposite where someone's sort of feeding seeds of doubt in your mind. And again, if you weren't sure if this was your pile or group 1, definitely feel free to check out group 1. But let's see what it says here. It says here, so after that obvious and disgusting bit of cheating, and then they get cut off, Jordan, growled Professor McGonagall. So I do feel like, again, someone might be cutting off. It can be a little bit of both. I feel like you have like a hype up friend this month, or you're the hype friend for someone this month, and then you have someone else sort of overlooking the situation and kind of trying to give you more of a clear, honest answer. So you might have people in your life who are seeing your situation from a less clouded or extreme point of view, who might be trying to give you some real help and real honest advice. And because we're in Aries season, right, we're very trailblazers, we do our own thing, we're going to just power on through. That fiery energy coming in. I do think it's up to you to decide if this person is trustworthy enough and honest enough to be able to take their advice that might be coming in where you feel like your judgment is kind of clouded. So definitely maybe listen to those who are your hype friends, who are supportive of you, who are after trying to get the same things and really care for your happiness, because they might have some things coming in to help you where your judgment has been kind of skewed and have those sort of rose-colored honeymoon glasses on. So keeping that in mind, that is what I'm really getting here from these two, because I feel like you have a really close friend who really wants to give you some advice there. So definitely listen to them this month. With that said, let's finish off your reading with the charms. So the charms are some of my favorite things. If you guys haven't seen me use charms already on this channel, do feel free to check out my other videos, or I have an entire master guide video all about charm casting. So if you want to start looking into unusual ways in which to use divination, this is definitely a fun one. So let's go ahead and start looking into your month of April and Aries season. Do feel free to send your energy in. Let's go. Okay, so let's see what you got. So we have a couple of different things over here on the commentary card, which we just recently talked about. We have the little trees charm, which makes me think of like a new fresh car. Like these are those little air fresheners that you put up, and it says little trees. It also says since 1952, in case those numbers resonate for you, but this is making me think of like a new car, new fresh feeling. So I think someone's going to give you a really fresh perspective on something, again, right? Commentary to help you out, give you a new fresh perspective where you weren't able to see that before. Or you're currently going into a new relationship, maybe that honeymoon phase with someone or something in your life that has got you hyper-focused and in that new car feeling. So again, that's maybe why you're feeling that skewed judgment. So that's really coming in here. We also have over here by the 8 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles. Maybe you're about to go on a trip soon. We also have the temporary charm of the paperclip, the larger paperclip. So I feel like you might be going on a bigger vacation soon or something like that, and maybe that's why you have this whirlwind. Maybe you're off to go see someone, travel to see someone, even if it's just the next town over. It could just be something like that. It doesn't mean you have to like travel an ocean for them with the plane, but I do think that maybe is why you're feeling a bit of this burnout, because there could be something in your schedule that is kind of set in stone and there's no way to move it around. So of course things are going to feel a little bit more clustered because you're trying to add something in without subtracting anything. But I do see you pushing through. I think they're very positive things that you want to have happen, even if they're going to be at your own personal detriment with jet lag or feeling a little bit tired or worn down. So I do think that it's a good thing, but it does have its drawbacks. And then you have the charm of what are these called? Anchor, the anchor charm. And so this one makes me think, especially the fact that it's sort of got a cut anchor, it makes me feel like you're like really setting yourself free from limitations this month. This is also falling again near those tools in your favor of sometimes taking a little bit of time socially off when you need to, especially if some of you are introverted or need that time off. So like I said, there's a need for balance. You guys are the ones who are going to be at the steering wheel this month. So if you want to raise your anchor, raise your anchor. If you want to let it go, let it go. But there is an energy showing up here that there could be a bit of overwhelm, possibly mostly from your phone or from digital devices and things like that. So emails and stuff like that might be more important to find balance in than any other aspect of your life this month. So overall, those are all of your cards and charms here. I do hope this was a really fun and interesting reading. I sure had a lot of fun with it for my own intuitive. It just kind of gets us all going and warming back up our intuition, right? So do feel free to let me know what you thought down below with the April Fool's intro with my sisters and how the reading went for you. I'd love to see what you saw here. Also, if you'd like to, do feel free to subscribe as well, as I put out new readings every single Monday. I do typically use actual divination supplies for those ones outside of these funky ones. So if you want to see those every single week, do feel free to subscribe. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be lovely to have you here. And also, do feel free to check out the different ways you can support the channel as well, and help to gain some new supplies and to have everything that goes into that Kindred tip jar right back into the channel. So do feel free to check out the Kindred tip jar. You're also welcome to get a private reading through a snail mail reading or otherwise, if you want to look even deeper into a subject or query on your mind. So with all of that said, do feel free to check that all out. And I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you the best for April and Aries season. Bye! Hello Group 3, if you've decided to choose this specific 4-pointed star in orange, then this is the pile for you. And yes, this is an April Fool's video. I love to do these every single year and have had a lot of fun doing them. But for those of you who are new and haven't seen what I typically do for these April videos, then you are in for a treat. Already we've had my sisters, both of my two sisters, helping me out with the intro. They are amazing. I love them so much. We have so much fun filming those and probably laugh far more than we actually get anything done. But I hope you did enjoy them trying to mimic me. Their support is amazing, and I just do feel free to send some love their way down below. They're amazing, as well as my brother too. But with that said, like I said, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently today. So we are going to be using the charms as normal, but we are going to be playing around with an entirely new set of supplies over here, which are not typical divination supplies. So we have a typical playing card deck that you use for like Go Fish and other things, hues and cues, trading cards for Harry Potter, as well as Picturica. So we're going to be playing around with quite an interesting dynamic here and really testing the limits of our intuition. So do feel free to set on your intuition hat, because we're going to be playing around here together and building this together. And it's going to be a little bit different, a little bit fumbly. We're going to see what happens. It's going to be very fun and creative and perfect for Aries season, as we're going to be looking into cards for both April and Aries season, which is all about trailblazing and new beginnings and new starts and fresh new perspectives, which is perfect with new cards. We don't tend to do this every month if you are new, but we're going to play around with them today here for a little bit of a laugh for April Fools. So let's just get right into it. So we're going to be starting out with these typical playing cards. This is actually, fun fact, my first tarot deck that I ever had. So if you guys are in the broom closet, or if you can't currently get your hands on any tarot cards, this is a great alternative where people don't know that you're doing tarot and just look like you're playing a game. So this is a great, really reliable and useful deck, even if a bit simplified. So we're going to be doing that here today to look first into your energy for the month of April. So So do feel free to send your energy in. And let's go. Group 3, what do you have coming in for the month of April? So first off the bat, we have the Jack of Hearts. This is also known as the Knight of Cups. You can also see it as the Page of Cups as well, seeing as there aren't pages specifically in a playing card deck. So we're going to see what comes in a little bit further. I am really connected to the little scribe feeling that I'm getting here, a scribe of information. I'm getting like creative elements here of like creative writing coming in from this for a few of you. But let's see. We also have the King of Spades, which is also known as the King of Swords, which is all about communication and communicating your thoughts and your feelings in a very effective, very skillful way. So like I said, I feel like some of you might be taking on a creative project or really activating some new skills in creative writing or in writing in general, emails, text messages, letters, whatever kind of writing it might be for you, journaling even. But I do think that there's like a new skill being unlocked there or something fun, new, and fresh happening on that level. And then to finish us off here with the 3 cards that we have, we also have the Two of Wands, which is about kind of a planning stage. The Two of Wands is about planning and the very beginning seeds of something growing, but needing to keep watering it and keep it going, right? So these are still those beginning baby steps that you might be moving into something on a creative level or on a sociable level. Like I said, so because we have 2 court cards here, you could really be moving into a new socialite sort of scene. Maybe you are hanging out with people who have this sort of energy. The Jack of Hearts is all about someone who has their heart on their sleeve. They're a very lovable puppy kind of feeling that you would get from them. A hopeless romantic or a hopeful romantic per se. And then you also have the King of Swords, which is a very much more analytical, skillful, very to the point kind of person, but still coming from a really nice space. So I really do feel like you might be kind of planning to hang out with these type of people this month. I could see that for a few of you. Also, because this is a collective reading, it could go multiple ways, so see which one resonates for you. But I really do feel like some of you might be hanging out with these types of people, meeting these kinds of people, or really communicating, or even maybe if you are doing creative writing, creating characters around these kinds of people. I really do see that some of you are definitely creative writing, so I'd be curious to see what stories you guys are bringing up. But that's really what I'm getting. I do feel like we are missing a little bit here, so I want to pull one more card. Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles. This tried to come out in group 2, so we've had aces trying to come out throughout each of these readings, which makes sense. As we are moving into Aries season, aces are all about fresh new starts, fresh new perspectives, as is Aries season, as it is the start of a new astrological season. So I can really see that some of you might also be starting some new projects. The Ace of Pentacles is about like new projects around the home, new gardens, new houses, or building furniture. You could also be creating some new projects happening within your career, like taking on some new roles or skills within your career that you're going to be kind of building into, or even with your body, like going for walks or hikes and things like that. But I do think something new is coming in. You might be doing it with friends or new coworkers or new people coming into your life who you're communicating with and planning for the future to start doing these things with. So I feel like there's this collaboration that's happening with this new idea or this fresh new thing that you're starting on around the house, walking, or within your career that is on your mind. But I don't know if you're necessarily going to only make plans to do this thing and then come back to it after this month, or it might be happening within the month, because the Two of Wands usually represents making plans but not necessarily taking the actions yet on those plans. So you're still in that like teetery, asking, hey, are you free on Sunday kind of feeling. So that's what I'm getting here, is like momentum to start getting something started on a social scene. So let's look a little bit further though, and we're going to look with these Picturica cards to see 2 cards that are coming in for your blessings for April. And I know not everyone really resonates with the card or the idea of blessings. You can also see this as the energy most in your favor this month, or the tool that is best in your tool belt this month, the one that is like the best to whip out. So let's see what's coming in for these. These are very intuitive, very open-ended kind of cards with these little doodles. So we're definitely going to play with these ones for sure. So group 3. I've got that 2 in my mind now. Group 3. Okay, this one is a really funny one, and I thought about not keeping this one in, but I had a specific message that felt like it needed to come out if that one did come out, so I know exactly what I'm going to say. But let's see the last one here. Okay, so we have a couple of different things. This elephant made me immediately think like toot your own horn. Like I feel like you have something to say, you have something to tell, you have something to blog or to write or to put out into the world creatively. And it's like, yes, do that. I'm definitely getting that like for that creative side. On the other side, I feel like some of you might be going through some imposter syndrome, which is the idea that like you feel this doubt that everyone else is looking at you like you should know what you're doing, and you feel like maybe you don't know enough, or you haven't gotten to the level that you should be. So say like you're like a star in Hollywood, right? But you just feel like a normal person who, you know, takes a poo like everyone else every day, right? So that's what I get from this card, is this idea that like someone looks at you as if you're the Queen of England and you're really just like everyone else. And I think that what could be helpful is just reminding people around you, if you feel like you're having this imposter syndrome or feeling like you have to be someone who you aren't, the best thing you can do is be more authentic to yourself this month. If you have people in your life who you feel like you have to put on airs or put on a mask or, you know, parade around as slightly yourself but a heightened version, or, you know, another version of yourself and not your whole self, you're definitely getting this feeling to like toot your own horn and be like, hey, toot toot, this is me. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm really getting from these 2 cards, and it's very funny to look at, but definitely a feeling that I was getting already. I really want to explore this elephant a little bit more. So, right, we've got that horn feeling, but I'm also getting, again, that creative element, that needing to voice yourself, advocate or say something, speak up a little bit or be a little bit more authentic. But also the elephant is just making me think of like elephants in general and how they have really beautiful memory. And so I think that maybe the reason why you're feeling this pushback or this feeling like you need to put on airs is coming from a memory that you've maybe had with these people who you might be hanging out with, and maybe that's why your plans are sort of on the fence, because you're not sure if you want to invite them into this new thing that you're going to be starting, or even if it's unrelated to that and you're just hanging out with them. I do think that it's better to be more yourself and them not be interested in what you're putting out there than it is to have to change and create yourself to fit them. You know what I mean? So I think you might be playing around with those sorts of energies and having to kind of work through that. That's why I said journaling might be really helpful for a lot of you this month. But let's continue forward and see what else you're getting. Specifically, since you have so many cards on relationships, we're actually going to be moving into a card on relationships in general. So this is going to be sort of looking into the energetic landscape of your month and seeing what's coming in there. So this could be for any relationship in your life. It could be a platonic relationship, a romantic relationship, a familial one with spirit or yourself. However you wish, do feel free to send that energy in. But let's see the collective message coming through here for you. Group 3. What do we have coming in for their relationships energetically this month? Okay, so the numbers and letters that we have here might correlate to the people that you might have been thinking about with their initials. So we have N5, N22, I12, and I15. The numbers can relate to specific dates. Maybe you are planning things with people this month. We also have the number 58 here at the bottom. But what I'm getting here is really kind of nice cool toned colors and then a random beige. So I really feel like you're showcasing these really nice, calm, peaceful, fun energies, and then you have this beige, which is making me think again of that, like, not showing every part of yourself, kind of beiging it down, or putting all these colors together and it's just becoming like this brown, muddy energy is really what I'm getting here. So I feel like some of you, again, are masking bits of yourself, and there's really beautiful, vibrant parts of yourself that you could show, that maybe you show to other people in your family or found family or close friends, but these new people that you might be talking to, new coworkers or new people in your life, or even old, people who you've talked to many times, but haven't seen in a while, there could be that dissonance. Maybe you've changed, you're worried that they feel like you've changed, but change is important. People seeing your full self is important. So try to maybe have those conversations very openly with them. Tell them maybe how you feel when you're around them. And maybe they feel the same way. Maybe you both are trying to hype yourselves up, and your relationship would do better if you did bring down those walls. So I'm really getting that from these colors. They have this really wild and free energy, and then again that beige. So it just feels like someone's coloring over your walls and beiging them out. And I don't know if that's what you want for yourself. It can be a really beautiful protective reason for that. It's up to you intuitively to know, but that is what I'm getting from that card. From here, though, we're going to start looking into Aries season. So happy birthday to anyone who is an Aries sun out there. But we are going to look into Aries and the idea that Aries season brings out that bold, trailblazing, just beginning, first start energy. It feels so creative and go-getter and bold, and I want to see what's coming in and what new bold things are coming into your life through these Harry Potter trading card game cards. And I do want to preface that I've had these cards sent since I was very, very young. So as much as I love the nostalgic parts of Harry Potter, I do want to preface that I'm not in any way condoning the author. So let's go ahead and see what's coming in for the Aries season for you. And also do be sure to give this video a like if you've been enjoying the reading so far. It really does help the channel so much, so thank you, especially on a video so interesting like this one. So let's see, group 3. Ooh, we're already getting one. Let's get one more. Group 3, what do you have coming in for Aries season? So okay, we have first off eel eyes. So it's an item. It also has the number 1 here, which is making me think more to do with that ace energy of number 1, eel eyes. And then you also have over here Madame Hooch, I believe. And it is showcasing that she's a witch and she has this very unique energy. It also says their teacher, Madame Hooch, arrived. She had short gray hair, yellow eyes, like a hawk. So again, showing off your unique side, right? She is not a very typical person, right? She has yellow eyes. She has a very unique way of presenting herself. She's very bold and open about who she is, right? There is this very unique side to her that she brings out. So I really do feel like, again, that is showcasing that tooting your own horn. Literally, if you look at these two, she's got a little whistle in her mouth. So I really do feel like there's something that needs to be communicated through a text, through open communication with these people who maybe you're putting a mask and layer over yourself on, in the way of this new beginning that you might be starting, because we also have the eel eyes, which I said feels connected to the ace here, in the idea that you have a unique perspective that you want to bring out into the world, something new that you're wanting to plant into the world. And like I said, maybe that's a new garden for your house, maybe it's a new creative activity that you're after, maybe it's like a physical activity that you want to take on, since we have a lot showing up here of that like sportsman side with Madame Hooch. So I do feel like maybe you're hiking and biking and or wanting to try like a marathon or something like that. I don't know, that would kind of maybe freak other people out. People who don't know you very well might be like, wow, that's something that you would do. Or, you know, there might be a bit of that scared pushback feeling, because the eel's eyes I felt was connected to the idea of that Madame Hooch having those yellow eyes, that uniqueness that makes them who they are. And then over here we have these eel eyes all like bottled up and kind of it's almost making me feel like they're on display. And so I feel like you are definitely moving into this bold energy to just be who you are, and maybe it's because you're hanging out with people who used to know you one way, aunts and uncles who you haven't seen in a very long time, or friends who you saw in college but you haven't seen in like 10 years or something like that, right? I feel like the people you might be communicating with could even be something out of a surprise, right? Like someone you see at the grocery store that, was from your high school. It just feels something like that, and I feel like you might surprise them about these new ideas and bold new trailblazing things that you're doing, that you want to do, that are very unique to you. Or just your unique personality coming through the mask that you've had. So I see that coming through for your Aries season for sure, like challenging the masks that you put on yourself and challenging others' perspectives of you. And I think that's a very bold and important thing for you to grow through. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and finish off your reading with the charms. So we are going to be pulling some charms here to see what is coming in for you for those last little bits and bob details for the month, as well as Aries season. And these are really fun to play around with. If you want to see more about charm casting, I have a whole master guide, and I've also gone through my charm set for you to see different charms in detail and the ideas that I have on them. It's a great way to play around with divination also, if you want to do it in a more discreet way. So let's start out with yours here. So do feel free to send your energy in through time and space, and let's go group 3. Okay. We definitely got a few of them in here, but interestingly, the one that fell on my arm right away, you got the letter X here, which makes me think of X marks the spot, things like that, but it also makes me think of like an ex coming back in your life. Maybe it's an ex-friend, or again, someone you haven't communicated with in a long time. There could be some of that, the mask coming in because of who you were with them, but whatever it is that came out. And then you also had the letter Q showing up here as well. So this can also represent someone like questioning your judgment or questioning your ideas, but also just in general, it can be an initial or other indication for you. We also have the number 13 showing up here. 13 represents endings, and you had that coming in with that planning side of things. So I do feel like maybe it's just not even worth reconnecting with some of these people, and you might be questioning that, and maybe that's why you haven't made bold specific plans to hang out with them. And I think that is a really very definitive thing for you to do, a very bold thing for you to do, a very healthy boundary to be making as well. So it's up to you if you'd like to. We also have either 6 or 9 here. I'm really getting more of that 6 energy though. So there you are with the number 6. And I just realized I didn't zoom you in, so here you are a little bit closer. So we had the number 6 showing up here alongside the spoon. So maybe it's something to do with your mental health or your mobility or something like that that's maybe changed since you last saw these people, and maybe that's why you're feeling that same feeling. Maybe some of you are spoonies, or maybe just don't have the same energy to be hanging out with these people anymore, and that's something that needs to be communicated as well to create more harmony, as the number 6 is a harmony number. We have the thou shall not kill energy card charm, so this is also making me think again of someone sort of kind of killing the vibe. It makes me think of like raining on your parade, and so that's coming in here quite heavily, and I feel like there's quite a lot showcasing like a pushback from these people, or needing to really communicate who you are now versus who you were then kind of energy to some people. We also have here next to the king on the toilet here with imagine, dream, and believe. So again, it's also believing in yourself, kind of reminding yourself and grounding in who you are and your beliefs and what you are and what you imagine in life. That's also coming up here next to the eel eyes. And then you also have these last 2 charms of this, like, I'm sure it's not an ancient coin or anything like that, but it always makes me think of like a Chinese or Japanese or Asian coin of some sort that is hard to distinguish what's happening here, because I personally don't I don't know that culture. So again, it feels like this sort of snappy, breaking kind of energy that's happening here, because we have that coming in here with the twisty or the zip tie. It feels like you're kind of breaking free of a hold on someone because they don't understand you. That's everything that I'm really getting here. I do think that you have quite a lot that you can really play around with here this month, a lot to do with your own discernment in mind, and also your own agency in mind, and reminding yourself that you can make choices with these people. I think that it could go many different ways. I feel like some of you might still hang out with them and have an honest conversation. I feel like some of you might be realizing that it's just not worth it, or something in between. But that's really the main energy. You have a lot to do with socializing and a new start beginning. So that's everything that I got here for you, pile number 3. I do hope this was useful to you, and if it was, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you, especially since we were using such interesting supplies and decks here. I would really love to hear your thoughts. Also, do be sure to subscribe, as I do readings every single Monday that aren't as unique in terms of the supplies here today. I do typically use oracle and tarot cards or charms, so if you want to see those, do be sure to subscribe, as we are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I would love to have you here for that moment. Also, if you would like to support the channel to get new supplies and other things outside of these that we have here, then do be sure to check out the Kindred tip jar. Everything that goes in there goes a long ways and goes right back into the channel, so truly I do appreciate anything that goes in there. And you're welcome to see all of the different offerings I have down below, including private readings, if you have a specific private reading or snail mail reading in mind, for a question or query that you've had on your mind. So if you'd like to have that answered, do be sure to check those out down below. All of it supports the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So with that said, I wish you the best, Aries, little babies out there for your birthday, as well as April and the season in general. I wish you guys the best, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!